Most humans could have the entirety of their fleeting lives chronicled in but a few short lines. Their stories really make for terribly dull reading.
I think this time it turned out better than before.
Why do new explorers make the same mistakes over and over again?
Traveling to other... This is all that anyone seems to be writing about these days.
They're attacking Sacred Sakura! Stop them!
Erase all threats.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Right here. Emerge.
Unleash! Illusion shattered!
Right here. Right now.
Wow, there are so many of them! No wonder the Tenryo Commission needed help! Come on, Traveler, you can take them!
Torn to oblivion!
Shogun? Wait, no! Could also be A!
Oh, it's you two. It has been a long time. We have not seen each other since the resolution of the Tenryo Commission crisis.
Okay, sounds more like A. It is you, right? You sure made short work of them! That was amazing!
I'm making early preparations for what is to come. Last time we took a walk around Inazuma together, I witnessed the way the world is today. I was finally able to comprehend some things that I had never understood in the past. Since then, every time I encounter an obstacle in my thinking, I find myself having the urge to spend some time in the outside world.
Makes sense. You must get super...
Might I remind you that I am not here to amuse myself. Recently, I have observed a number of changes in the external world from the plane of Euthymia. The most serious of these being the attack on the sacred Sakura by numerous rift hounds. I considered this matter worthy of my attention, so I pursued them, and they led me here, where I happened to run into you. If the Shogun rather than I were to discover them, yes, perhaps she would have left the situation alone.
Why? Because she's just a puppet?
Precisely. According to the rules I designed for her, matters of this nature are to be delegated to the Tri-Commission. But rift hounds attacking the sacred Sakura...
A disaster?
Yes. 500 years ago, a great catastrophe befell Inazuma. Everything was engulfed in a pitch-black fog, and monsters ravaged the land. Countless lives were lost, And this homeland that the people had worked so hard to build barely escaped being obliterated entirely. The monsters committed many atrocities on Inazuman soil, and the Rift Hounds were always their advance guard. Their duty was to tear open a passage through space with their claws and teeth, and then call in even
Uy,
more
Harjin,
powerful
kamusta?
beasts.
Tagal nang hindi nakastream, no?
That's an episode of history that I am loath to recall. Maybe to you, it seems like my response to these creatures was an excessive one. But an excess of caution is not unwarranted in this case.
Guess you can't argue with that.
Since we are both here for the same reason,
Ngayon
let
lang
us work
nagka-time.
together. From the traces they've
Saka
left in the
energy.
surrounding area, there should be many more monsters nearby. All of them
Di
must
ba,
be
no? Ang tagal?
eliminated.
3 months? 2 months? Diyos ko. Sobrang busy rin kasi talaga, tsaka pagod.
Paimon feels so safe when we're in Ace Company. Having someone uber powerful on your team kind of
Nadadalasan
makes
na
you
natin.
feel invincible, doesn't it?
Yun nga lang eh.
After we've dealt with the monsters,
Dahil matagal
what else
tayong
can
hindi
you tell us
nag-stream
more
eh.
about Conria?
Walang masyadong nanonood. Pero okay lang.
Color. It's similar to the color when the
Parang
secret
back to
soundtrack
zero
takes
tayo.
damage. Let's follow it. It should be this way.
Gawin ko. Ayun. Hindi na rin ako nagpo-Pokemon Unite. Ang dami ko nang binitawan na games. Ubus na talaga oras. Okay lang yan, boss. Basta like and subscribe lagi. Uy, salamat, salamat. Tama. Tsaka nandiyan pa rin naman kami sa Discord. Ay, ano to? Nasanay ako sa Lost Ark. G yung inaano ko, pinipindot ko. Ayan.
We are lucky. The damage is not too
Bawi tayo
serious.
this year.
The Yashiro
Talagang
Commission will
ngarag
be
lang
able to
nung
nurse
ano,
the root system
last
back
quarter
to
ng
health.
2021. Sabi yun. Ano pinagkakabalaan yung games ngayon, boss? Ito,
This stuff that's
Genshin pa rin naman,
floating
pero
is
super
inside or
casual.
something? And
Tapos,
how come
Guardian
it's
Tales,
glowing?
sinalaro ko pa rin. Tapos, Lost Ark, doon nauubos yung oras ko ngayon, yung free time ko.
Huh?
Bukas ng gabi kapag pag hindi masyadong pagod, maglo-Lost Ark naman ako.
What's
Grabe yung hype nun. Nagulat ako. Hello Charles, kamusta?
could they be?
Welcome back. Welcome back sa ating lahat,
Wouldn't be
including
the first
ako.
time we'd seen ghosts on our journey. But why would they appear here?
Let's search the area. Perhaps we will find out.
Kitamura.
I can't go on like this. Not when the other troops are counting on me.
What happened here? Could you tell us?
Who are you? What are you doing here? Run quick while you still can. The
Mahaba ba
monsters
to?
will be
May
back.
nakatapos na ba na sa inyo
Once
na
you're in
itong
their sights,
quest na
I'm
to?
telling you, there's no escaping them.
Tatry kong
We will
tapusin ngayon kasi
defend Inazuma
kailangan ko yung
until our
boss
dying
drops ni
breath.
Raiden. For Yaimiko.
You don't know? Inazuma is engulfed in darkness. Beasts and horrifying monsters are everywhere. They're merciless, ferocious, and they will devour everything in their path.
Baka ma-spoil ka pare, okay lang ba yun?
Last trace of
I mean,
humanity's
na-appreciate ko
existence, I
tumatambay
tell
ka,
you.
pero kung may spoil ka
They'll
naman
devour
eh,
it all.
mahirap na. Pwede ba naman panoorin ulit
That
this stream?
seems to be going on around here.
Oh, boss, para mabilis na quest. Ah, okay.
But they'll
Good,
be back.
good.
Look, get out of here. Now! There's no time left.
Mahirap si
The
Raiden.
almighty shogun is gone. So is Kitsune-san.
Tapos ko na easy lang yung boss. Oy,
There's no
Hexagon,
one left to
kamusta?
rely
Easy
on
lang
for
ba?
ourselves.
Ako?
I don't know how long we can hold out for. But if we abandon our
Usually,
hope,
easy sa inyo, mahirap sa akin eh.
nothing left at all.
Don't worry, I'm right here.
Lahat ng story quest mula 2.1, di ko pa nagagawa. Ang dami ko pang hindi nagagawa. Yung Kay Ito, hindi ko pa nagagawa.
Please,
Kay
you have to help.
Kokomi?
You have to save
Kay
Inazuma.
Ay, hindi. Natapos ko na ba yung kay Kokomi? Hindi pa yata. Hindi ko pa yata natapos yung kay Kokomi. Ang dami ko pa hindi nagagawa. Mamaya, tignan natin yung journal ko.
Please, or the whole of Inazuma will be reduced to a hunting ground for the beasts.
Pansin nyo ba yung chat natin? Naka-overlay na.
The war you speak of
Kanina
is
ko lang
over.
ginawa yan eh. Alis mas maraming space para sa game mismo.
What do you mean? Shogun.
Look around you. The grass grows
Easy yung sa
green
story
and
quest,
lush,
okay lang
and
din
the
yung boss
soft
mismo. Ay, yung
breeze
weekly boss
blows.
mismo.
This is there are no
Ay, sorry, napindot
monsters.
ko.
Nor is there anything else here that could
Balita ko
threaten
mahirap
life.
daw eh. Pero yun nga, hindi ko pa natatry eh.
But how? Just moments ago they were.
Uubra ba yung team ko ngayon? Yung team ko kasi ngayon pang ano,
I saw them tear my comrades
pang
to shreds with
ano
my
to?
own eyes.
Yung parang relationship meter yung tumataas.
Down.
Kaya may Yae tsaka sino to? Yung isa? Si Yunjin.
I think I understand. Oh,
Pero may Bennett naman eh, so baka kaya nitong
You
lineup ko.
saved Inazuma.
Pero Aiden, hindi na mawawala yun sa party ko.
Yes, we were right to place our trust in the almighty Shogun.
Ayun, friendship team. Tama,
As long as
tama,
the
tama.
Shogun is with us, Inazuma will last for an eternity. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Ayos lang ba yung volume
Thank
nung game?
you, thank you.
Baka masyado malakas boses ko.
What's wrong with him?
He's gone.
Paimon can't even begin to understand what that was all about. But somehow,
Iba't ang klase pa rin talaga yung design ni Shogun, no? Tama mo.
If I am not
Pag nilalaro mo,
mistaken,
hindi mo masyado
what we
ma-appreciate eh.
just saw was a samurai's memory that was buried in the land. The sacred sakura can absorb and purify the filth in the ley lines. After the Rift Hounds attacked, some of this filth leaked out through the cracks in the trunk and formed a physical entity. An entity formed with strong filth
Wala ba naglo-lost
would
arc
be
sa inyo?
highly aggressive. But when purified, it presents in the form of a memory. Purified filth quickly dissipates. and
Grabe,
can be
nagulat ako
absorbed
sa
by the
turn
ley
out
lines
nun,
shortly
Diyos ko.
afterwards.
Akala ko konti lang
In
kami
other words,
nag-aabang.
It cannot exist for too long.
Ak ng putya, nakita ko. 1 million viewers sa Twitch. Live stream yun ha. 1 million viewers. Kay Asmon Gold ba yun? Diyos ko. Pagulat. Matindi pa sa mga live stream ng Genshin Impact na event. Yung ano nila, yung dev stream.
That soldier was one of the many thousands who
Hindi mo
made
ba
the
na-try?
ultimate
O hindi,
sacrifice.
hindi pang busy yun pare.
What he was
Kakainin nun oras
describing
mo.
just now was yes.
Kakainin nun oras mo,
Inazuma
promise.
was
Huwag mo na
facing
i-try
many
kung
great
busy ka.
crises at that time. Some were
Ako pa
local
silip,
in
work from
origin,
home ako eh, kaya nasisilip-silip ko pero ano yun, walang auto, walang ganun.
Others came from the now
Mano-mano
fallen
lahat.
kingdom of Kanria. The disaster in Inazuma caused me great concern. I felt that I had to step in before it was too late. Otherwise, it would spread to all of Tevat. But my friend, Kitsune Saiku,
Bukas o
reassured
pakita
me
ko sa
I had
inyo.
nothing
Bukas
to
or
worry about.
Tuesday, hindi ko pa alam eh. Depende sa ano.
She would shoulder
Depende
the
sa
responsibility of
trip ni
protecting
Bossing.
Inazuma and mobilize all forces
Minsan
at her
kasi si Bossing
disposal to combat the threat.
May pinapagawa yun
I could
kahit
tell
out
that.
na ako.
Although neither
Trabaho.
of us acknowledged it,
Di minsan madalas.
we both knew that the road ahead
Madalas
would
actually.
likely end in
Okay lang
tragedy.
naman.
So, Inazuma was attacked at the same time as when the disaster happened in Kanria?
Indeed. Countless monsters suddenly appeared throughout
Kitsune
all of
Saigu.
Inazuma. In the end,
Ninuno ba ni Yaemiko yun?
Kitsune Saigu sacrificed her life to protect the people. I never had the chance to see her one last time. But I would like to believe that she kept her promise to me until the very last. But even then, Inazuma was left more devastated than we could have ever imagined. Those terrible tragedies left great wounds that are still felt to this day, both on the land itself and in my
Balita ko hindi maganda yung feedback kay Yaemiko ah. Yung mga napapanood, in terms of meta, syempre kapag waifu talagang 100% goods yan. Pero kung yung in terms of meta, parang hindi raw siya ganun kaganda. Hindi ko ba natetestin sa akin sa Abyss eh. Kasi parang level 6 pa lang yung talents ko.
And vanquish monsters, I was helpless against the ravages of time, powerless to keep the ones I cherished alive.
Hindi pa naman ang hype sa kanya. Sabi dati, ganyo level DPS.
After my clash with human ambition, I thought.
Pero para sa akin, okay na. Happy naman ako sa damage ni Yaimi ko.
Now I realize I cannot fixate on the past forever. When I traveled around Inazuma with you, I caught a glimpse
Single
of how the
target
nation
daw
has
kasi
progressed over the
turrets tsaka 90
centuries.
Oh, 90 energy
A
yung...
glimpse of human potential.
At saka ano, parang ang tagal niya sa field daw.
Everything far
Yun yung
exceeded
napanood
my
kong video. Kanina ko ba
expectations.
napanood yun? Kay 1010
Moving
yata.
forward inevitably invites further loss.
Ayato ka?
Also,
Wala na ako pang full kay Ayato.
new
Pero parang gusto ko rin
encounters.
siya.
Just think of that soldier.
Yun nga, yung main feedback na narinig ko na parang tatlong beses mo ikakast yung E tapos mag-ult tapos kakast ka ulit ng tatlong E. So parang ang daming nasasayang na Bennett buff, uptime na mga kung ano-ano. Ang problema ko lang sa kanya, ang lambot, Diyos ko.
Perhaps the future
O baka sa akin lang, pero parang ang lambot niya.
is not the eternity that I once strove for. As Inazuma's god,
Level 90 yung sa akin. Saglit lang, patay na agad.
warriors of the past who
Nakita niyo yung
spilled
pull ko
your
kaya,
blood on
swerte,
this
no?
land. Your noble souls now rest in this earth. I will never forget you and all that
Kala ko
you did
mapapaibon
for
pa ako eh.
Inazuma.
Ayato plus ganyo only free. So, di ba? Di ba na para siya nagpapaulan? Yun yung nakita kong parang video eh.
Come on. Let's keep investigating.
Basically,
the
yung skill
damage
niya
to the
is
sacred
wow,
site.
ginagawa ko rin yan. Tsaka pang dash-dash pag nag-e-explore. Ayan, no? Pag nag-e-explore, pag dash-dash na ganyan.
Right now.
Pero ang ganda niya, di ba? Oh. Parang lambot niya kasi 587 defense, mababa ba yun? Ito, mataas talaga to. Parang mababa nga, ano. Ngayon ko lang nararamdaman yung lambot ng characters eh. Oo, parang siya yung pinakamababa sa mga characters ko. Kaya siguro, ano, ayan oh. Oo, siya pinakamalambot sa mga characters. Kaya siguro, kasi hindi ko pinapansin ng defense eh. Unless kailangan, like kay Ito. Team lang sila ng burst. Yung ano, kaya sa tayo punta? Continue the pursuit. Ayun. Uy, ba't nag-shogun lang?
Leave them to me.
Hina naman ang shogun na to. Kaya nga, ano to? Anong constellation to? D0. Dito yung sa akin eh. O baka ito yung sa akin? Baka ito yung sa akin? Hindi ganitong kataas sa energy recharge ko. Ay, ato. Oo, yun nga, parang nagpapaulan, no? Ayun yung nakita ko eh.
Shine down. Now you shall perish.
76k. Hindi nga sa akin. Mahina. Talk to the person who appeared.
Huh? Something seems wrong with A.
Why would you ask that?
Well, usually you'd pull out your sword and swish! Vaporize them all in one go! No?
Mahina
You
daw
are
siya.
unduly concerned. I'm simply conserving my energy. Although I have some understanding of the situation already, it could take an unexpected turn at any time. I must be prepared for anything. If there are more formidable monsters lying in wait in this area, I must make sure
At mo
I
lang
have
si
the
Xiangling,
strength to
solve na
face
yung
them.
protective. Oo nga, no?
Makes
Walang mga kadaan.
spoken like a seasoned shogun.
Ginagawa ko lang doon si ano eh.
That seemed pretty badly
Si Ushi.
damaged this time. We definitely need
Para yun ang
to tell
targetin
the
nila.
commission about this. Hey,
Pero parang ano, dati, ewan ko naabutan nyo yun eh. Yung time na yung floor 11, ganun din. Pero sobrang hirap. Pero sobrang hirap nung ano, yung parang protect the monolith sa floor 11 dati. May ganun pa eh. Ngayon parang ang dali na lang eh.
Furuyama? Is that you?
Dati kailangan mo pa ng ano, pag wala kang venti, kailangan mo si Traveler para mataunt.
What brings you back
Yung
so
E niya kasi
soon?
nakakataunt.
I thought you were off
Tapos,
fighting a battle in a distant land.
may ganun-ganun pa.
Fighting a battle in a distant land? Sounds
Ngayon,
like
parang ang
this
dali na
one
lang nung
happened about
ganong floor
500
ng
years
Abyss.
ago, too.
Hindi ko lang sure kung
Allow
continuous
me
damage
to
nung kay
introduce
Ayato.
Furuyama.
Feeling ko pag kay
He is a
Ayato,
tea
ang
master
importante dun
and
yung
a member
application
of my
ng ano,
retinue.
Hydro.
Though blind, Furuyama is unparalleled in his ability to appraise tea.
Kung kaya niyang
He grew
sabayan
some
yung
of the
kay
very
Xingqiu,
finest tea in all of Inazuma.
solid yun pa.
Your
5-star na
Excellency, you
Xingqiu.
shower
No?
me with praise undeserved. I have simply had the good fortune to be in your Excellency's
Imagine.
presence
Kung,
long enough
kung parang
to
ganun
become
siya,
acquainted
puta,
with
maganda yun.
all the skills
Tatry
that
kong
are
ipul yun.
required of me. It sounds like the almighty Shogun has brought a guest. I'm afraid I'm unable to serve you any respectable refreshments on account of the current situation. But please, sit and rest. After all, it's quite a mess out there.
What should we do? Oh, yeah. Sheesh.
Ano, dito lang ba to? Sa map na to? Sa Inazuma lang mismo?
It's pitch black and loads of people have been injured.
I see. So they have
Parang
fought
dialogue lang
their
yata
way
yung
this
napapahaba.
far already. Most of the residents in this neighborhood have already escaped. They wanted to take
Tapos yung
me with
event,
them,
Diyos ko, parang
but it seemed
nakakatamad.
pointless to me.
Buti,
So I
mahigit,
decided to
mahigit
stay.
10 buwan yung deadline nun.
And
Yung
now
duration
the
ng
almighty
event.
Shogun is here. I have even less
Trinay
reason to
kong
run
ano
away.
kagatan ng konti.
Imagine
Unti-untiin
if
ko
this
lang
was
yun
something
dahil
even the
parang
almighty
ano na
Shogun
naman
was
yata yun, yung Golden
powerless to
Archipelago.
resolve. Where could I possibly run to then? People flee out of a desire to live on.
Si sabi ng
Desire
bulat.
to
Hindi ko
live
napansin
on
eh. Busy ako
stems
kausap
from a
kayo.
feeling of having unfinished business in life. But me, I have no such thoughts.
Baka naman
I
meron
have
siyang
no
ano.
regrets.
Since mumuna lang siya, meron na
The
siyang
almighty Shogun often speaks to me about her
kakaibang
dreams
vision
over tea.
powers.
Just listening to her stories. I've been blind for many years, but her vivid descriptions took me on a splendid journey to all the most beautiful places in Inazuma. Over time, I've come to understand her mindset. Quite the romantic at heart, a true dreamer. One thing she always says is, good things don't last forever. Everything changes, fades, disappears completely over the passage of time. And so, people must make the most of the life
Tama.
they have.
Seize
Seize
the
the
chance.
chance to enjoy it while it lasts, and have no regrets in the end. So you see, as bleak as things may be now, I have experienced countless wonderful things in life, and have no reason not to be satisfied.
Perhaps you are right.
It won't be long now before I have to say goodbye to the almighty Shogun for the last time. What a
Ano to,
pity. I'll never get to
Mukhang
see what
matinding
Inazuma
character
looks like
development
after the
to kay
almighty
Raiden,
Shogun rebuilds it anew.
KA pala, KA.
But I suppose it doesn't matter. Everyone says that Inazuma has turned dark now. But to me, it went dark a long time ago.
Malamang.
Once this catastrophe is over, life is sure to spring forth anew. But even if I survived until then, I'd probably be a hopelessly befuddled old so-and-so by then. So, never mind, eh?
Never mind A daw. The view. Tagal oh, ang tagal na naka-auto yun, ang tagal dun oh.
Speaking of befuddled, look at me.
Yan na naman si
babbling
Genshin
away to my
Impact
heart's
eh.
content
Yung mga
before
angulo
getting
nila
to
eh.
serve the tea. The almighty Shogun comes to visit and I don't have the tea ready. A truly egregious loss of decorum. One moment, I'll just... Where in the world is the tea set? I hope the others didn't smash it to smithereens in their hasty departure.
Lalakad siya, tapos maglalaho.
Can't see a tea set anywhere around here.
Really? But it's always been right by my side.
Hahanapin pa namin, anak na po
Goodness
siya.
gracious. What a fool I'm making of myself. I couldn't possibly have my guests
Camera angles, di
fetch
ba?
it themselves.
Alam mo, una ko
That would be
napansin yun
most
noon pa eh.
discourteous
As
indeed.
in, noon pa. Nung,
Don't
yung
worry
part
about
na
it.
ano,
Take a rest.
na
We'll be back
yung
right
kay
away.
Mona.
Almighty Shogun,
Story ni
you're not
Mona,
going
yung
too, are you?
pupunta siya, yung naghahanap siya ng
No.
parang
Your
bahay
humble
yata.
servant implores you
Doon
not
pa lang
to
yung
go
introduction
all
sa
the way to
kanya.
outside.
Diyos ko. Ang tagal doon sa
This
may balakang
place
niya eh.
is complicated. It's quite unlike the tea house in your memories. Leave it to us.
But, well, okay. I never thought I'd see the day that I need the almighty Shogun.
Lalo na story
to
quest ni
personally
Mona. Di ba?
collect my
Laging
tea
ganun
set.
eh. Laging may ganung view.
I can't decide whether it's a
Fan
final
service
regret
din talaga to eh.
or a final stroke of good fortune.
Hindi naman tayo maangal, pero napapansin lang
Where
natin.
should we go to find a tea set?
Go to Kamisato
The
Estate.
tea isn't exact.
Ay, hindi pa pala ako nag-weeklies dito. Hindi pa ba? Mga bounty. Ito nga. O, tapos na. Hindi, feeling ko tapos na.
It's the Traveler. And the almighty Shogun. How might I be of assistance, Your Excellency?
I wish to borrow a tea set from the Yashiro Commission.
Oh, sure. I'll fetch that for you right away. Please step into the courtyard and have a rest, almighty Shogun. Oh, and I'll inform my lord
Gano'n
about your visit
dumadalaw.
immediately. Ah, and the tea set. I'll bring that here as soon as it's ready.
Be at ease. I'm not here to see Commissioner Kamisato. Actually, I'd prefer to spend this time chatting with the Traveler. Please, fetch the tea set at your convenience.
No. I am your humble servant. I daren't think of my own convenience when the almighty Shogun graces me with her presence. I'll deal with it right away.
Well, it's not often we have the chance to chat. I'm sure you must have a lot of questions.
Right. Paimon wanted to ask that too. The almighty Shogun that he described didn't sound anything like you at all.
Okay, isa.
I seldom had the time to drink tea. Any free time I had was spent practicing martial arts. So, in the vast majority of cases,
Ayun na nga.
the one he made tea for was the former Electro Archon, who was also my sister, Raiden Makoto. He may well have had an inkling about there being two
Raiden Makoto.
Raiden Shoguns, but he always acted as if he was completely unaware of it. The philosophy of life that he shared with us just now, that was Makoto's view on reality. She always saw things that way.
You and Makoto had pretty different views, huh?
Indeed we did. It was the biggest difference between us. In her eyes, the most precious things in this world were dreams. The yearning for a better future held by living beings.
Ambitions.
They are similar, but not identical. When you came charging into the plane of Euthymia, I saw human aspirations light up the sky far above in the form of countless stars. This somewhat shook me. Now,
Titan ko ba yung chat? Para masyado malaki yung
it
chat.
seems
Ano?
like she was right.
Natin ko.
While I took the wayward
Yun lang kung
path.
gusto natin lakihan ulit.
Wow.
Masyado malaki
There sure
sinasakop
was
sa
a lot
screen.
going on beneath the surface.
Makoto saw a bigger picture than I did. In her view, a dream is more imaginary, more abstract than an ambition. An ambition is a yearning for something material or a concrete outcome. It is finite in nature and will be replaced by a new ambition in due course. Makoto was more concerned with the force that drives humans to constantly generate new ambitions in the first place. It is something innate, rooted in instinct. In other words, it is something eternal.
Yan naman siya sa eternal niya.
Quite a
Alam mo,
lot
minsan
to
yung mga
take
dialogue
in.
ni Raiden, parang ano eh.
To put it simply, Makoto
Parang ang
wasn't
layo sa
concerned
ibig
about
sabihin ng talagang ibig
outcomes.
sabihin ng
I
eternity,
didn't
eternal.
understand
Parang
at the
ipinipilit lang nila. Yung pagkakagawa ng script,
How
parang
can
ganun.
we say that we are maintaining eternity when things are constantly moving forward and evolving? I suppose what it comes down to is the definition of eternity she set out with. Yes, it does. I always thought that she must have grasped some elusive, arcane wisdom to arrive at the conclusions she did. But in the last analysis, Makoto's philosophy was, on the surface at least, an elegantly simple one. Notwithstanding that it was also the more prudent choice, based on a more mature, far-sighted outlook.
Do you feel you're starting to understand her better now?
You have already witnessed my
May
previous
tattoo siya.
views
Ngayon ko
on
lang napansin yun.
eternity. But now, I no
Meron
longer
siyang tattoo
cling
sa
to
likod.
what was lost.
Ah,
I suppose that means our
Raven,
differences have been reconciled.
wild child.
Almighty Shogun, I found a tea set. This one in particular should be fit for your excellency's use.
It's quite beautiful. Thank you.
You are too kind. A humble servant such as I does not deserve the gratitude of the Almighty Shogun.
It's all good, sir. She's actually pretty chill.
Let us return. We ought not keep Furuyama waiting too long.
Ito talaga ni Paimon. Go! Go, let's go!
There is no escape!
Oh, sorry. Loh, nauna na.
Where'd he go? He wouldn't have gone looking for a tea set himself, would he?
Paano kaya siya maghahanap ng T-set? Tumbulag siya.
Or perhaps the ley lines did not have the power to sustain him for very long. As was the case
Honestly.
with the memory we saw earlier.
Aw, sad.
So we won't get to drink his tea? We didn't even have a chance to say goodbye.
The information held in the ley lines is complex and disorderly. The fact that we were able to meet him to begin with was a miracle of fate. Well, this chance won't come often, and we do have a tea set. Perhaps I should try my hand at making us a pot of tea. I've watched Furuyama brew tea on many occasions. I doubt I should have any major problems doing it myself. The tea is ready. Please give it a try. So many thoughts were racing through my head as I was brewing it. I'm not sure how to explain it.
Alam ko na ako
You're
sa
right.
papunta to.
But the things we've seen today have brought back many memories for me. I've been reminded of many people, too. Kitsune Saigu, Makoto, and all the other friends who I watched pass.
Yung tatlong friends niya
even
hindi
further.
masyadong pinag-usapan, no? O baka
Back at
na-miss
the
ko lang.
Yashiro Commission, I kept
Hindi
the
masyado na
conversation
pag-uusapan dun sa mga
reasonably
main quest.
lighthearted. But now,
Di ba tatlo yun?
I'd like to broach a
Isa nga
heavy
yung parang
topic.
Kitsune, isa yung
if I
parang
may.
Oni.
The events
Isa parang
of
nakalimutan ko.
500 years ago not only robbed me of
Baka
my
ito na nga
friend,
yun.
Kitsune Saigu, they also took Makoto away from me for good.
She died in that disaster too?
Yes. She went to Konria alone, without telling me. Unlike me, Makoto was no martial artist. Whenever similar crises had arisen in the past, I was always the one to face them in her stead. But this time, the circumstances were so grave that Makoto had no choice but to leave me behind. Or perhaps it was more that she went ahead of me, put herself in front of me, so that I would remain hidden. In any case, by the time I realized what was happening, yes,
Eddie.
it was too late. I arrived only in time to hear her dying breath.
Galing na nagboboses
She
sa
had
kanya, ano?
already lapsed into unconsciousness by that point. So all I could do was enter into her mind.
Half Pinay yata yun eh.
As far as you're concerned, it would be somewhere similar to the plane of Euthymia. It was there that we
Uy,
bid
na
each
naman.
other a final farewell. I cried bitterly. Even in those final moments, I couldn't understand her actions. Why did she go to Conria first, and not I? Why did she keep me in the dark about it? Was it to shield me? It was there and then that I resolved to pursue eternity. As a testament to that decision, I saved her realm of consciousness just before it collapsed completely and brought it back to Inazuma.
That's quite a story.
When I returned to Inazuma, I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. The tree that you know as the sacred sakura. That's exactly what everyone back then told me as well. That it had existed since time immemorial. They were so matter-of-fact about it, and couldn't at all understand what I was so surprised about. No one questioned it. And yet, its presence contrasted so starkly with the area as I remembered it. It seemed as if I was the only one to have noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air. In the end, I simply had to accept that it was a miraculous effect of Makoto's consciousness. With the help of the sacred Sakura's power, I was finally able to overcome the monsters and quell the disaster in Inazuma.
This is all really hard to understand. Kinda beyond Paimon's level.
Yes. She had such a great love for this land and for its people.
Weird
In
dun
this
ah.
respect,
Ba't may
I
pelikulang
still
ganun?
do
May
not
pelikula bang
compare to
ganun?
her. I once told myself that I would never speak of these events again.
The whole time, sabi ng ibang tao, nandun lang yung tree, pero
Facing
siya,
the
ngayon
fact
niya lang
that she is
nakita.
gone is unbearably painful.
Kahit
But
madalas siya
even
dun.
the tea that is most bitter to the tongue, once swallowed, leaves some sweetness in the throat. And it's time I came to terms with it all.
Oh, while we're on the topic, since you experienced that battle in person...
Brother? I had heard that you were looking for your family. You mean to say that he was somehow involved in the Conria disaster?
Based on what we've learned so far, it seems so, yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for the whole thing. By the time I
Marky mo,
arrived,
magandang gabi.
the
Welcome.
worst of the
Welcome
fighting
back
was
sa atin.
already over. And also,
Salamat sa pagtambay.
my mind was
Tayo lang
consumed
muna ngayon, eh.
entirely with the plight of Inazuma and the fate of those closest to me. So, I am afraid I can't help you.
Oh, well, that's a shame. But it can't be helped, I guess. Boy, both of you have experienced great tragedy.
With this last cup of tea, let us honor the Tea Master's memory.
Kadiri ito.
Thank you,
Kadiri yung
Destiny, for giving us the chance to meet again.
We should go. Let's keep following the traces.
Ah, hindi pinakita.
Very well.
Makakasira daw ng
Based on my
moment.
investigation so far, I believe this next pack of monsters should be the last.
Observe teacup. Pa tayo? Ah. Oo. Hindi na kaya yun forever. Saan tayo? Saan tayo mga sir? Oh, medyo naglag. Asan? Lumabas ah. Ayun.
Right here. Emerge.
At sa bababa. Taas yata. Ah, hindi sa taas. Baba. Yun. Ba't ano? Ba't ako nag-frame drop? Ayan.
Once again, please leave them to me.
Hey! Are you sure you're alright? You're scaring us!
Fear not. Fighting is what I do best.
Oh, para siya inuubo.
Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion! Erase all threats. Shine down!
Oh, wala siya HP. Siguro yung corrosion nila, ano? Naapektuhan siya.
Hey, maybe you should leave this one to us.
My apologies.
Don't worry about it. Just take a breather and get your strength back. We'll deal with the monster.
Wala kasi si Bennett. May healer na ba ang ano? Inazuma characters? Ay, si Sayu.
Look, that's the same light again.
Where am I? Who are you? Almighty Shogun, you're here too.
Ay, si Kokomi, oo nga.
Your
Sorry.
Excellency.
Oo nga. Kokomi nga pala.
I'm quite alright.
Uy, parang nakita ko na to sa mga picture ah.
Feeling a little stiff.
We, the Shogunate Samurai, will defend the Shogun until the very end.
Ah.
Come on, men. They're coming back for more. Let's get them.
Don't! It's too dangerous.
Danger is our duty, ma'am. If we were the kinds to shy away from danger, we never would have taken up arms to begin with.
No need to worry, Almighty Shogun. When the situation looks bleak, we will draw on the power granted to us by the gods.
Sana ginawa nilang ganito talaga yung katawan ni Ito,
Is
no?
that a vision?
Ay, may vision sila, Stig.
It certainly is. I know the gods are omnipotent, and their willingness to grant their power to humans means they have high expectations for us. If the Almighty Shogun is in trouble, now of all times is the moment for us to honor that.
So that's how samurai of that era understood visions, huh?
Nobody knew where your excellency had gone, and we were starting to despair. But now we've found you. You're right here with us. Just the sight of you appearing before us once more has reignited the hope in our hearts.
Oo.
This hope is the light that will guide us out from the darkness.
Everyone, on me!
We'll help too!
Huh? Affirmative, but what?
Go! May heal ko na si Shogun, tsaka si Mi.
Almighty Shogun!
Remove all obstacles.
Right here. Right now. Nothing lasts forever.
23k, 30k, 30k. Okay naman yung damage niya.
Emerge.
Illusion shattered! Here we go! Now you shall perish!
Oh, nag-frame drop ako ba?
seems like their attacks are finally over.
I've never fought so fiercely before.
Thank you all.
Are you okay? Maybe you should keep resting.
I'm fine. I feel much better already.
You fought phenomenally. It was truly awe-inspiring. The monsters will definitely
Right.
come back. And when they do, it'll be more than a few Rift Hounds this time. Quickly, escort Her Excellency back to Inazuma City, and regroup with the General's forces as soon as possible.
When everyone sees the almighty Shogun safely returning, their spirits will be lifted.
Well, what are you guys gonna...
We will stay here and guard against the monsters' advance. We cannot afford to let them get any further. We are brothers in arms. As long as we stick together, we can face any number of monsters that come our way.
Just leave it to us. Fighting is what we do best. But the almighty Shogun is the only one of us with the power to change the present state of affairs. Only Her Excellency can turn back the tide of despair and lead us onward into the future. No matter what kind of threat faces Inazuma, we will always place our faith in the almighty Shogun.
Oh, thank you all very much. I promise you that I will create a bright future for Inazuma. I should not have left it this late to make this promise. But from this moment forth, know that I shall be true to my word.
Don't worry, Your Excellency. We will never doubt your word as long as we live. With you leading us, we will claim back everything that Inazuma has lost.
Glory to the Shogun!
Glory to the Shogun.
Glory to the Shogun!
They're gone.
It was both. The people's sacrifice has always caused me immense pain. But in dwelling on the tragedy, I overlooked their splendor. The grief blinded me to how
Kaya siya
brightly
nagkulong,
they
ano?
shone in their final moments.
Di pa siya
The result
nakaka-move
being
on.
that in the centuries since their sacrifice, I have dishonored their will. You could take the view that whatever I say to them is meaningless, because they are but disembodied memories held in the ley lines. But even so, they are due a resolution. I owe it to them, and to all the people who have placed their faith in me to date.
Well, Paimon thinks that even if it's a few hundred years later, you're doing right by them now, and that's what counts.
Thank you for your comforting words. But this is my basic duty as Inazuma's Archon, and I have neglected it for far too long. I used to think just like that samurai, that I was first and foremost a warrior, and my only duty was to face whatever challenge came my way. But what Inazuma needs more than a warrior is someone like Makoto. Even though I am utterly unlike Makoto, and can never become the person she was, I still need to do the things that she would have done. Yes, they are. They are strong and resilient.
Akala ko lilitaw si
and
Miko
have
dito.
much to be proud of. As
Kaya
the
siya inilagay ko
rising
sa
shogun
thumbnail.
they revere, I should not be the one to hold them back.
Dapat pala si Raiden.
Well said. Sounds to Paimon like you figured things out.
Change will come to Inazuma, and with it, new possibilities. This will take time, but eventually, the future will bring healing to the scars of the past. No matter how long it takes, I am committed to bringing this to fruition. This is my promise. Now that we've dealt with the Rift Hounds, this matter is halfway resolved. It does not appear that the threat will escalate for the time being. I will leave the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions to handle the follow-up work, such as investigating the origins of this incident and tending to the root system.
Alrighty then, let's... It looks calm on the outside, but Paimon bets her emotions must be all over the place right now, huh? She seems to have changed a lot since we last met her. Huh? What's wrong, eh? What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
My body. It looks like
Nangyari sa kanya.
the situation. No need.
Ayan na. Si Makoto na.
She.
Kasi Makoto yung mga kalaban natin, ano? Hindi parang...
The time
Ang una ko
has
kasi
come.
nabasa, parang yung puppet niya nagwala eh.
I need to go to the cave below the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Why? What's in there?
A battleground. One where I shall sever ties with the past and take the first steps into the future.
Go. Madededs na pala si Bennett. Mag-heal nga muna tayo. Mag-heal lang ako saglit. Di pa din mamatay si Benny Boy. Go. Cave below. Yung ba yung ano? Parang nasa ilalim ng tubig dati. Somewhere dito. Ah, ito lang. Ah, mukhang dun nga. Ah, sa taas. Taas pala.
Right now. Emerge.
Ano ba? Baba daw. Naligaw na ako. Ulit nga. Ulit. Erase.
Right now. Emerge. Right here.
Ang cave. Lower pa daw.
Right now.
Ito. Uy! Nagpas na naman. Yeah. Akala ko dun. Dun oh. Yep. Ganda talaga ang design ni Ai, di ba? No? Except dun sa underwear. Ewan ko ako, nakita niyo yung chat ko dun sa, sa Discord. Eh, no? Mukhang pang matanda. Ulit. Nawala na naman. Ba't ako naliligaw dito, pucha? Lower, 77 meters. An? Ayun, pang matanda. Oh. Diba? Wala na to eh. Ilalim ng Sacred Sakura. Paano ako pupunta doon? Oh, nakapag-live ulit long time. Uy, salamat. Salamat. Oo nga, long time nga. Ganito di ba yung kay Ningguang? Oh, ganyan ba? Hindi ko napapansin. O, dun sa bago niyang costume. Kaya hindi ginagamit si Ningguang. Ah, cave po siya. Uy, kailangan kita. Kailangan. Okay tayo ulit. May electrogana sa bandang taas. Akit ako sa Sacred Sakura. Okay. Okay. Hindi ko alam kung anong cave yun po siya. Akala ko kasi nasa pinakailalim. Baka doon niya tinago siguro yung urn. Teka, maubusan ako ng stamina. Pahinga muna. Okay. At sa tuktok? Oh. Talon sa likod nito. Dito? Wala naman ako nakikitang parang entrance. O, ito rin yung kanina eh. Yun o. Ayun pala eh. Dito? Ah, ito. Abo, ngayon ko rin nakakita itong lugar na to. Ah, hindi napuntahan ko na to. Kasi kung may electrogana, nakuha ko na. Napuntahan ko na to. Nakalimutan ko lang. Ah, ito na. Taring natin sa lineup na to. Pag hindi, bitbitin natin si Yula.
Whoa! Where'd that Torii gate come from?
Salamat sa tulong. Baka napuntahan ko na. Nakalimutan ko lang na may ganito.
But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm about to put an end to it all.
Tayo sarado. Hindi ko na kasi maalala to eh.
This is a place I once sealed off with.
Pero ang dami ko pa din na-explore din sa Inazuma.
The entrance
Sa lahat ng areas
to
actually.
Raiden Makoto.
Kaya natatakot ako pag naglabas sila ng bagong region, baka hindi ko na maasikaso.
It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body as I please.
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
What to?
Follow me.
Where are we go?
So, ito na nga, ito na yung nasa trailer. Yung consciousness ni Makoto nandito.
I'm dizzy. Where did we get sucked into this time? Whoa. This place. Look over there. It's another A.
We meet again.
Domain
traveler.
expansion ulit.
This body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules.
Oh!
Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Ay, so yung puppet nga.
Paimon knows that voice. Is that the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity. You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion?
Ah.
I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait. The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse. Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes. But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this. It's a bit extreme. Hey, showdown with the Shogun?
Uy,
Never thought
thumbnail
we'd
ko yun
see that
dati, ah.
day.
The rules I set for the Shogun are...
Showdown with the Shogun.
The Shogun herself is the manifestation of
Oh,
my
na ako dun.
past ideals.
Bayaran nila
The
ako.
very foundation stone of eternity. It shall not be easily swayed. I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you talk it through or something?
Ano sinasabi, Paimon?
But they both just want the best for Inazuma.
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm.
Epic.
It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun. It inherits Ei's pain, the pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity. Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred. All of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time. Only rules shall remain constant for eternity. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden A.
Let's go. Let's
In
go.
the end, even the proud and mighty Oni maiden was cut down and disgraced.
Ah, one-on-one.
Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did. Inferior.
Yung tugtog.
Illusion shattered! The Kitsune sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch-black rain. As long as the ley lines flow, the relentless erosion of time will never stop.
She's completely recovered?
Illusion shattered! Weak. Pathetic. Be gone! The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade silently into the clouds.
Ganon.
There shall never be another.
Ganon.
Never. For the rest of time.
Uy, nasa dulo na pala.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Bright din ng Inazuma to, no? Oops, sorry.
This ends now.
Like, oh.
There is no escape. Insolent. Torn to oblivion.
Uy,
The eye sweeps the lands. Euthymia crumbles before.
Have you finally defeated her?
ah.
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong?
How the heck?
In this realm of consciousness, Her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living beings, including you and me.
Then, does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking, one that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight, I will defeat her. 500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle. Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learned to trust them. I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please, be my witness. During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands.
But this means that...
You're back, Kuya Alvin. Yes, we're back.
Pass on my words.
We are back. Sana, tuloy-tuloy na. So, teka. So, si Yae Miko na ang Archon. Ganun ba yun?
Looks like we got kicked out. Oh, what do we do? Are we really just gonna leave A and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever? She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still... Right? Also, A can be pretty stubborn at times, and has a history of rushing into difficult situations. What if she gets too obsessed with winning, and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen, and then she might never leave again. Yeah, we should help her out, like we did last time. The quicker she gets through this, the better. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, you know, help her win the fight?
Nakuha mo na ba yung luxurious chest dyan? Feeling ko.
Whatever, we can't let anything bad happen
Feeling ko
to
nakuha
Amy
ko
while
na.
she's in there. Oh, but we also can't get in there anymore.
Wala na ako nakita eh.
Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back
Ito yung parang may scan ka ba? Ganon? No, feeling ko nakuha ko na.
Time on now. Okay, maybe if we both ram into it at the same time really, really hard.
Ayun nga, lilitaw nga si Yae Miko. Akala ko hindi.
Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her. Who knows if she really understands these consciousness
Ang dami sinasabi ni Paimon. Hindi ka na cute. Hey, eto si Raiden. Hello.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to
The
unravel
Queen.
it for you. I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them
Dal-dal ni
with a
Paimon, di ba?
smile after the first few times.
Kanina cute pa siya eh.
You're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech. Do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer
Year
audacity.
58 na ako, hindi ko alam na may chest doon. Ako, hindi ka nag-iisa. Marami din akong chest na hindi pa nakukuha.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's A.
Oh,
Dami ko pang
okay,
chests.
I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now? Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Is she playing dumb? She's doing this on purpose, for sure!
Aha, you're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself
Sana may line din na
is different
sinasabi
in
si
some
Traveler.
way.
Oo
But
nga
I
no?
can
Parang
only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so
konting-konti
you
lang
tell
talaga yung
me.
mga linya nila. Nilang
What was it
dalawa
like?
ni Aether.
Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a
Considering na
little
sila
difficult
lagi
to explain
hosts
things later
kapag
on,
ano, di
that's
ba?
all. First
Kapag
things
may
first,
dev stream.
follow me to the entrance.
Oh, so balik tayo dun. Ba yun? Ito.
Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location. But you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded
Minsan si
by
Paimon may mga
chaos.
nakakatamang lines din
Everything
talaga.
is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What?
Di ba?
Alright, well, Paimon's staying here then. You two can go in.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
Paimon's had it up to here with both of you! Oh, fine! Paimon's coming too.
Oh, well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way.
Go.
Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your... Only a strong
sorry.
enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination. Well then, the door's open. Hop on it. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake, and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Miko, you better know what you're doing!
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
Dito na si Bennett. Dito na si Benny Boy. Uy. Alik.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Wow. Hindi pa siya nagsisimula?
You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years? This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was
So,
back
ano,
then.
maraming taonan dumaan sa kanila, ano?
Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel.
500 years na
Conclusion
sila.
to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? Huh. So you're finally willing to stand back, traveler.
Go.
I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of
Oh
nations.
shit, ito na. Hindi siya pinakita ng transform?
Energy they consumed, great
Ba yun?
enough to vaporize the oceans and turn day into night. And the will they imagined, sufficient to penetrate minds and
At mamamatay siya. Ah, hindi siya mamamatay, okay.
will never be eroded nor destroyed. Yet, you have endured.
Let's go, Bulbasaur.
I will endure forever.
Walang pinakitang transformation sequence, no?
Witness the final
At the Flowers of Remembrance with Electro. Akala ko nagkang yung PC ko.
perish. In spirit.
Ang lakas naman ng Shogun na to. Teka nga, tingnan ko lang ha. Lakas naman nun. 12k yung pitik nung ano niya. Nung nung E niya. Wow, for 2 months, Kuya is back streaming, di ba?
Eternity is in my hands.
Yun, ang lakas oh. Ah, hindi kasi parang permanente siyang naka-burst. Kaya pala parang ang lakas.
This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future. And you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within me.
Hindi ka muna. Sige, pare.
The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto.
In the previous show,
Perhaps
to
it can
typo.
only respond to me with its full power
May
when
ganun.
I truly understand and believe in her. When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your
Okay,
assistant.
bati na sila.
I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth.
Character
I
development.
understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the
Oh,
future.
lalabanan ulit namin agad. Kailangan ko yung match mo.
Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for
Oh,
real
sorry.
this time?
Hello, A.
Oy.
And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to
Isa rin kaya VA nito.
Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
Ooh.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity.
Oh.
Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye, Makoto.
Wow.
So the A of the present planted the sacred Sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
Yeah, oo nga. So parang ano yun eh. Parang sa Interstellar, yung ano dun. Yung mga, ano to? Yung Tesseract sa Interstellar na parang pwede silang basta na lang pumasok sa kung ano-anong points ng time sa past, sa present, sa future.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return
Parang fifth
precisely to this
dimension.
point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
I know what you mean. Perhaps Makoto got a higher power involved in all of this.
Istaros. Ano yun?
But whatever the
Lumilitaw na
explanation, her
random word.
solution is what saved us all. Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred Sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred Sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Now we see who's pulling the strings.
Kaya pala.
I'm joking.
siya lang gumawa ng
That
trip niya
tree
lang.
has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not?
Si Miko yung
Traveler, if
taga-explain.
I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great
Hindi niya rin
shock
alam.
to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks.
Naging
You
sayi
have
pa yung
done much
Genshin,
for
ano?
me, and I will never forget it.
A, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day. I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days?
Cute nila.
Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku Decree.
Really? That's
Ano yung Sakoku
huge
Decree?
news!
Hindi ko na maalala kung ano yun.
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
Ah, yung pagsa-shutdown ng borders nila.
I'm looking forward to it.
Inazuma. Yay, tapos na. May lang. Tara, try natin yung boss. Sabi muna natin to.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma. Abolishing the Sakoku decree has a myriad of implications. It would be, for example, I can foresee the outside world posing a threat to Inazuma's businesses. These are the issues that I must work to solve.
Hey, you're thinking about this all so conscientiously. I've only got as far as wondering whether I'll be able to sell entrance tickets to the Grand Narukami Shrine in the future.
Honestly, Miko, many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. Makoto's gaze was always fixed on the people of Inazuma. I always assumed it was because that was her duty. But now, I see that hers was a gaze full of delight and hope. It was not just a duty, but a joy, too. She loved humanity very dearly.
If the people of the past deserve the gods' attention, then so do the people of the future.
Indeed. No longer will I ignore their passions and dreams. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma. To put it bluntly, it was constant torture, with no end in sight. Faced with an endless battle, I had to remain focused at all times. Had my concentration lapsed for but a moment, the Shogun's blade would have taken my life. Safe to say, were it not for my previous experiences in combat, my skills would not have been up to the challenge. I would most certainly have been defeated. And through it all, you also had your part to play. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I will be sure to remind the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions of their duties in this regard. It's not only the monsters that I am worried about. I'm concerned about what else might escape from the sacred Sakura.
That's a tough one, all right. There's plenty more besides memories held in the ley lines.
Since you clearly understand, perhaps you could think about making an effort too. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma.
Yai Miko said nothing of the sort. And the traveler has some nerve making up spurious claims about her while she is still present. Some words are not to trust me. You don't want to know the cost of betraying me. Just think of the things I said to you as our little secret. Understood?
What are you talking?
Nothing. Ooh, I suddenly want some fried tofu.
Many challenges still lie ahead for...
Okay na. Tignan natin yung boss. Ano to? What is this? Ah, yeah. Tapos na ba ako sa ano? Ah, tapos na. Ito na lang. Okay. Go try natin. Ano to? End of the oneric euthymia. Okay. Try natin. Try natin ito lineup na to. Ah. Ah. Gamit tayo ng ano. Kinapos pa ng dalawa o bad trip. Okay, try muna natin. Try lang naman eh. Natin ng ano. Hindi pinag-isipang lineup. The continues will absorb Ominous Destiny and will gain more upon hitting characters. When Ominous Destiny is filled up, will enter the Baleful Shadow Lord form. In this form, active characters will lose elemental energy at intervals. Ugh.
Shine down! Thunder!
I'm going in! Right here. Right
This
now.
world, a fleeting shadow. Erase all threats.
Alam buhay si Raiden.
Strike is one. Emerge. Right here.
Illusions
Right
of
now.
destruction.
I'm always watching.
Special illusions. Wala to dun sa laban kanina. Hindi siya masakit.
Let's light it up! Without yearning, all returns to silence. Observe!
Oh, Bennett. Yun, masakit yun.
This body is eternal. There is no escape. Let's light it up! In spirit! Everybody stand back!
Emerge. Right now. Emerge.
Remove all obstacles. Illusion shattered.
Hindi na ng damage. Eh.
That's gonna hurt in the morning. Let's light it up! In spirit!
Okay na support si Yunjin. Actually, hindi ko pa siya masyadong nagagamit optimally.
Witness. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Calamity!
Op. Asa na? What the hell?
Right here.
In
Emerge.
spirit!
Hindi kaya to. Kailangan ko na, no? Kailangan to na matinong lineup. Hindi kaya to sa gamit ko ngayon.
Couldn't break.
Ulit, leave the main. Gamit tayo na mas seryosong lineup. Kaya natin si Yula. Kasi yung kay Yunjin parang normal attacks lang eh. So, konting characters na nakikinabang. Yung mga gumagamit lang ng normal attacks. Like si... Ay, HP si Bennett. Wait lang, heal tayo. Like si... Sino to? Yula. Razor. Si ano yata, hindi masyado eh, kay Ito. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. And apparently sa usapan kagabi sa Discord, pati yung Ultimate ni Raiden Shogun na apektuhan. Tao. Hindi ko pa na-try. Tinesting ko kanina, parang hindi naman. Gamitin natin si ano, yung aking safe na team. Ito. Puro level 90. Iba pa rin pag may shield, oh. Mas ano, brain dead.
Careless.
Crush! Shine down! Shut up! Weak.
Hindi lang pala katapat mo eh. Una to.
The eye sweeps the lands. Crush! Illusion shattered! Vengeance will be mine! Eye for an eye! Absurd!
Gather.
Lightning
I will
fall
have
from the
order.
land of eternity. More speed. Let's light it up! Beg for mercy.
You know, parang ano, walang... Nakunat.
Crush! Shine down!
Kailangan niya ng ano, kailangan ng electro. Dapat ngayon wala.
Solidify.
I'm going in!
This is order.
Kailangan ng electro nung ano. Shield ba?
More speed. Illusion shattered! Final calamity!
Shit! Wala ko electro cooldown. Tatay. One hit, no? Hindi ko naisip yun, ah.
Crush! Perish! Teamwork is dreamwork! Remove all obstacles.
Kalahati na siya. Nadaan sa unga-bunga.
Eternity is in my hand! Shut up! Shine down!
Paano ako dadaan?
I will have order.
Crush! I'm going in! There is no escape.
Ah, okay. So babalik siya sa ano, sa malambot na version niya. 33k yun.
Shine down. Shudder. Euthymia
Ah!
crumbles.
Dadaan sa unga-bunga. Hintayin natin. 3 minutes. Ang saya nun, ha? Kasi hindi ko pa alam yung mechanics kasi. Kaya, ano. Kaya, pag nalaman natin, siguro madali na to. Feeling ko mas madali ito kaysa dun kay, ano, kay Ace Daha. Ang, ano kasi nun, ang daming animation nun, nakaka-irrite. No? Ayan, at least natapos natin. O, sige. Maraming salamat sa pagtambay. Tapusin natin yung stream. Teka, kapag lonely ka, always remember na nasa inventory mo si Senyora. Ah, teka, ano yung sabihin nun? Ano yung sabihin nun? Magagamit ba yun dito sa laban na to? Anyway. O yun, tapusin na natin. Salamat sa pagtambay and salamat sa pag-welcome back ng mga nag-welcome back sa akin. And hopefully tuloy-tuloy na to. Tatry natin dalasan ulit yung mga streams natin. Videos baka hindi masyado talaga kasi medyo matakaw sa oras yun eh. Tsaka, alam mo yun, yung mental capacity baka hindi na kaya. Pero yung streams yan baka mas mapadalas kasi mas, ano yun, mas straightforward. Okay, so yun lang. Salamat ulit and kita-kits ulit tayo sa next stream hopefully within the week. No? Try natin bukas ulit. Okay, so yun lang. Salamat and